Welcome back to Two Crows Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler, and I have Grayson with me. And Grayson also brought some guests today and is our first official guest, and we're recording on Friday the 13th in October.
So spooky.
So spooky and exciting. And I found Grayson on my For You page on TikTok and was just so drawn to her.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. It's kind of all them.
Oh, it was
Um,
all of you.
oh, so sweet. I think that they just have such an energy about them that it's kind of hard to look away. That's the way I
Yeah.
put it.
And for you that are on audio, you may want to actually go over to the video, but we'll try to make it as entertaining for you on audio as well. Um,
Yeah.
but Grayson collects wonderful dolls, or the dolls collect Grayson. I'm not really sure which way it is.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of collect me at this point. I don't really have a say in who comes home with me.
I loved your video that said that you weren't going to get any more dolls, but then you like got three more.
Yeah, I got 4 more yesterday, and then I
More.
have another one on the way that'll be here tomorrow. So I'm very excited because
So
the
that
one,
went out the window.
yeah, the one that's coming tomorrow is actually a haunted doll already confirmed. I've seen videos of her lighting up her cat ball and stuff. So very excited about that.
That is so exciting. So going back to the beginning, what got you into collecting them?
So as a kid, my grandpa always used to buy me porcelain dolls for my birthday and stuff, and I hated them. So scared of them. I didn't want them around me, and my mom would make them disappear for the most part. But one of them I did hang on to, and she's all the way in the back there. I can bring her out if you'd like me to, but um I don't know, when I moved out on my own, it just started happening. They started calling to me in thrift stores and stuff, and somehow we accumulated this.
I love it. I remember growing up because my grandpa is the one who bought me porcelain dolls too. And growing up, my cousin who lives in Arizona, I went to her house and she has a room just full of them.
Oh,
And I
that is
loved it.
that is amazing. I That's what I'm hoping to achieve one day. I have even more dolls in storage, but I want to get the all the walls lined with dolls and everything.
Oh, I love it so much. So what would you say? So do you feel drawn to different dolls at different times?
Yeah,
Or
we
yeah.
went 4 years almost without getting another doll. I was really just not drawn to anyone in particular, and then it, like I said, started up again. But in specifics, I'll talk about her real quick. This is Charlotte. And she actually called to me in a thrift store because she was playing music. And I had no idea where this music was coming from. Multiple people in the store were like, "What's that sound?" And I followed it and I found out that it was a doll. And so she was my second doll in the collection. And that's kind of what started them calling to me. So
I love that video. Well, I'll link your TikTok so people can see them in the description. But the in the video, what you're talking about her and the music starts playing and you're not even touching it.
yeah, she just does that randomly sometimes. Like I'll go weeks without touching her, and then all of a sudden she'll just start playing music. I'm like, girl, hey, I know you're here.
And like you, I was kind of scared of them when I was little myself, of having them. I liked looking at them and other people's dolls. But then when my grandpa started getting them for me, I would either turn them around and like have them in my closet or
Yeah, I did that too. I would hide them in my closet, and sometimes my mom would try to scare me by hiding them in my bed or something.
are we sure it was your mom now?
She told me it was. She told me it was, but I'm so curious about your dolls. I just
Yep.
want to look at them.
So the first one that he got me is the actually it was this one. And
Oh my.
she was part of the Victoria collection. And I have had them out of their boxes, but they like to, for me, it feels like they like to go back in them when I'm done with like having them out.
Yeah.
Um, and they've been in the room that was my room before this one. because I had like a display, but I'll be renting that room out, so I'm bringing them back up here now.
Oh,
But
okay.
this was the second one he got me, and it was really random. Just one day, the plastic had ripped off, and I wasn't sure if it was because it was hot or what happened, but I find random things in the bottom of her box.
Oh, I love that.
And, like right now, let me see if I can get it out. This was, what is this? It's like a top to a, I
She's
don't know what
collecting
this is.
tickets.
She's
I
collecting things.
Oh, I love that. That's a vibe.
Oh, and there's a Padres pin in here too. That I haven't seen in years.
I love that. That I wish my dolls would do that. Y'all can start doing that if you want to, girls.
Go collect things. And this was a so this one he actually left to me when he passed away.
Oh,
And so she's the only one who's never been out of her box, but I don't know. I want to take her out of her box, but like part of me is like, I don't know.
I
Um,
love that yours are in such good condition because some of mine are just falling apart and their hair's all matted and stuff.
I have two like that. I found them in a thrift store and their eyes were all scratched out, like glossy.
Uh,
And they're downstairs in my oddity room. And I went to go get them this morning and I couldn't find them. So I'm like, maybe they don't want to come up. So,
I have a similar situation right now. I have a couple dolls that I've been searching everywhere for and I cannot find them. So I'm thinking that maybe they want to be rehomed or something. So I might have to put some up on my Etsy if that's the case, if
yeah.
I can track
And
them down.
then, yeah, then if they sell, then you know that they wanted to go somewhere.
Yeah, I've been asking some of my dolls if they're comfortable here, if they'd want to go somewhere else, even though I don't really want to part with them for selfish reasons. But
And then
so far,
you
everyone seems to like it here.
and you use a couple different ways to talk to them. It depends on the doll, right? Of how they communicate.
Yeah, so most of my active ones have cat balls on them right now that they can light up on their own. So I
I
don't know if
saw one lighting up earlier.
yeah, I don't know if anyone will do that right now because they just got them yesterday, so they're not super used to them. I've had two of them use them so far, so that's exciting. Kirsten loves the EMF and she actually told me that she wants it on while we're doing this. So I'm just
Okay,
gonna turn it on for her and see if she
awesome.
will light that up. She has knocked that over when she gets upset, so hopefully she doesn't do that today.
We don't want to upset you.
Yeah, I told her today, like, it's a safe place. We're not gonna try to provoke you or anything. You just take it at your own pace. So,
And we believe in you.
and I also have dowsing rods, and I've got quite a few dolls that are into these. So I think this is probably the easiest for them to communicate right now.
And then in some of the videos, I've noticed some orbs too around some of the dolls.
Okay, have you seen that in multiple videos? Because I've only seen it in one.
I think there were two that I saw, and I'll try to find the other one because it had come up on my For You page before I saw the video of you talking about it when I saw them. So
Okay.
I'll try to find the one that I saw them in first.
Yeah,
'Cause-
that's really interesting because I have a friend that's a medium and she has a YouTube channel and everything. And she told me that Charlotte always has orbs around her. So I'm trying to capture more of that and try to be a little bit more observant with what's going on with them.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how many years have you been collecting them?
Oh my gosh. Probably like 8 years, maybe I would say. So some of these have been around with me for quite some time, and the longer they're around, the less I want to part with them. So I'm hoping that they don't want to leave.
Definitely.
They
Do
all
you
have their
have
abilities.
do you have any other friends that collect dolls or other objects?
No, everyone doesn't understand this. I feel like anyone who's met the dolls is like, okay, girl, I don't want to look at them too long. My boyfriend is a little bit more okay with it, but I don't think anyone really understands it the way that we do.
I'm glad your boyfriend understands because I've collected um oddities for a
Mm.
long time. And I even bought my house that I have right now because it felt haunted.
Okay, I'm here for that. Good haunting,
And
bad haunting.
good thing, like nothing bad at all, ever.
That's good.
Um, I talked about one a while back on here, but the first the first one that happened, I was just in my room. My ex-husband was here, and it was the other room that I was talking about. And the door opened, and I saw a figure, and I thought it was one of my kids at first. And then the door just like slammed, and then I heard something run away. I go and open the door. All my kids are asleep. The I have cameras like down the hallway. It caught nothing. Nothing was on the camera.
Oh, that's weird.
And we both saw it. It wasn't just me.
Mhm.
And another time, it just looked like they were checking on like a parent checking on a child kind of at night. It's what it felt like and looked like. And so I was like, is the child like sick and they didn't know what to say? Or like
Mm-hmm.
then another time the kids were all gone and I was up in this room and I heard a slam and I had someone with me.
Someone just threw their cat ball.
Oh no.
Okay. I
We'll talk
think
about you
that,
again.
yeah, I think that was Georgia that did that.
Um, so I heard a slam, and so I went downstairs, which was 2 floors below me, and the door was open. So the front door and the storm door both opened separately like this, and they were both open. And the cats were outside. So I have I had 2 cats, and they were both outside. And and I had a camera on the inside and the outside of my house, and it caught him, and nothing slammed. They just like slowly both creaked open. I don't know what slam I heard. There was nothing on the camera. And so I got the cats back inside, closed both the doors, and there's like a bunch of orbs too. I'm gonna find the video and I'm gonna post it on TikTok because
I want to see that. That's really cool.
I might have to like screen record it if I can't find it on my phone, but I know where I saved it. But yeah, it was really, I don't know, it didn't feel malicious. It's like, did the cats just want to go outside and you just like let them out? What
Oh,
was the
that's a
bidding?
cute thought. Yeah, see,
Um,
mine is currently
yeah.
haunted, but like not really in a good way.
Oh no.
Yeah, we have a spirit that's attached to the house that does not like my dog for some reason and really does not like him being up on the bed. So anytime he gets up on our bed, the spirit will like torment him until he leaves. And it makes me so
That's
sad.
horrible.
You know, I've been trying to like cleanse the house and just nothing is working. I've been doing it for 4 months at least and nothing has worked. So
Yeah.
I know it's
Just
not one of my girls though. It's just something attached to the house.
yeah. Gosh, that's sad. Mine,
And
I think it's the person who built the house. So I went to the historical society. My house is Queen Anne Victorian with a tower.
oh,
It
okay.
looks it looks haunted looking at it.
Love those.
But so the owner of the house is the one who built all of the Victorian homes here.
Mhm.
And after he finished, a couple months later, he died of smallpox in the house. After
Oh,
10 years, it took him 10 years to build the house
oh
because
my
he
God.
was slowly doing it while building the other ones. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you finished it and then died.
That's kind of sad.
So I think he just likes still living in it because he built it for himself and then didn't
Yeah.
really get to enjoy it in life.
At least like you're there and you appreciate the work and everything. So it's not just going to someone who would demolish it or renovate it to the point where it's unrecognizable.
Which they did to all but 4 of the Victorian houses here.
That's sad. I live in
Yeah.
an area where everything is really well preserved like that. So that's one thing I do appreciate about where I'm at.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, here because the houses were so big, they tore them down and then built more houses on the properties.
So,
And I'm surprised they didn't on this one so when they built the house, it had the whole block for the house. And then they had a duplex as well on the same property that the wife lived in after he died because they didn't know how long smallpox lingered in the house or anything. So they just kind of left it. And then she slowly parceled off pieces of the land. And then they developed houses on that. And there's still an acre left here, just in the middle of town. And no other house has an acre. Did you guys see that?
Hey,
Hi.
Kirsten, do you want to be part of this?
Did you like that story?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe she's like into the Victorian house stories. Interesting.
Awesome.
I'm glad that she would participate. Thanks, Kirsten. If you want to light up your cat ball, you can do that. She did it once yesterday, and I was really surprised that she would do it.
That's
She's
awesome.
very much a on her terms kind of person.
Mhm.
I guess she's settling down now. I had to give her a little toy the other day of a cat. So she's got a little calico critter attached to her stand, and she's very possessive of it now. When I gave it to her, she was lighting up the EMF like crazy for 45 seconds straight. So she
Yeah.
was just like, thank you, thank you, thank you.
What I find funny, so with my collections, so my whole main floor, I wanted to keep it very period appropriate and bring in things from the era. And so I have an oddity room and then my dining room and the parlor down there are all very period appropriate. And it felt like the house was happy when I did that, like that I didn't bring in a bunch of modern stuff to the house.
I love
And
that.
yeah, and I don't know, I hear things all the time. I brought in a player piano. It's from 1890, I want to say. And so it's a foot pump one. And I hear it all the time. Like n no kids home, nothing. And I just hear like a couple notes and I'm like, oh, they're playing. They're having fun. Hopefully they're dancing. Like,
I love that. I wish I could have stuff like that. I think a lot of people in my life find that to be kind of off-putting, but I think that that's sweet. So I'm
I
glad that
think
you're
it is
doing
too.
that.
I invite it. I'm like, as long as you're not doing anything mean. And it does scare me sometimes. Like there's been items I have not purchased for the house that I wanted to because they didn't feel right. And I didn't want to bring anything into what's already here that's malicious and gonna cause bad energy with them. And people think I'm weird too. So, but I'm like, it's no weirder than you guys obsessed with a football team and thinking you're the coach. Like, what?
Exactly. I think we all have our own hyperfixations and such, and
Mhm.
creepy stuff just happens to be ours.
Yeah, and I get such mixed things. So a lot of the older population in town that have always lived here, because this is a small town in the Midwest,
Mm.
they remember the house like growing up and that it like had sat empty for a little while because no one wanted to live in it and that their grandparents told them stories about the house. And then I invite them in. I used to do historic home tours here and until COVID, with the Historic Home Society, would do them every December. And I loved it because people would come in there, they would have memories in this house, or as a kid, they played with the other kids that lived here. And but there's such mixed reviews about the older people. They either think it's really cool that I kept the main floor like looking really historically accurate. And then other ones are like, these are weird things you have in your house. Like,
No, I love that though. Like historic home tours is one of my favorite things to do. If I can find them in my area, I'm going. So I love
mhm.
that. That.
Yeah. I think what's off-putting to them is I have a lot of dead things and I have a lot of medical supplies and things like that. But
Yeah, that's
uh,
something that people don't really understand, I
mhm.
suppose.
I want to save it. I don't want it to like go to someone who's not going to appreciate it or throw it away. I go to a lot of like I don't know, what do they call estate sales? And family are just like getting rid of things. And I'm like, how can you get rid of these things?
Oh, I'm the same way. I'm kind of like a memory hoarder. If there's some sort of memory attached to it, even if it's not mine, it's just someone I know, I'm keeping it and then I can't part with it. I've got a real
Yeah.
bad problem with that, as this probably shows. But I feel the same way about the spirits. Like once I realize that there's a spirit in the doll, I'm like, wait, I can't part with you now because I can't let you go to someone who doesn't appreciate this.
Exactly. So if they do want to go somewhere else, you want to vet them and make sure that they're going to be someone who's going to appreciate it.
Absolutely. I wouldn't want them to go to someone who doesn't respect them and doesn't respect their wishes because, like, Sabrina right here, she doesn't really like animals all that much. And I
Mhm.
have animals, but I keep them away from her. And I would be so scared that she would go to someone's house and they would have all these animals all over her because they don't know the story or they don't respect it. You know, it's like that kind of thing that makes me nervous to have them put up for adoption.
And so I know that they're going to ask this in the comments, so I'm going to ask it. How do you receive the messages from them? Do you
Okay,
feel
so
them?
I do get a lot of feelings, and like you were saying, if I get a bad feeling in a store about something, I'm not gonna bring it home with me. So I do kind of give them a little check. But my whole life, I've been very in tune with things. I used to see ghosts as a kid, and I still kind of do, but it's more so feelings, and I will hear things.
Mhm.
Um, and I read tarot for 10 years. I was doing tarot readings for people all around the US. And yeah, so I kind of use my channeling abilities with the equipment to kind of amplify everything and bring it all together. I think she might
Awesome.
look at that.
I
She's been
like
flickering a
that.
little bit, but not as much as she was earlier.
She's tired.
She does get tired. Like sometimes she'll be going crazy, and then I'm like, "Do you want to stop now? Are you feeling tired?" And she's like, "Yeah, girl, turn it
That,
off."
yeah. Like I can imagine how much energy that is to
Mhm.
manipulate things around you. Because I
Yeah,
know
I
I get
always
tired.
like thank you for doing that. I know it probably takes a lot. I know it's pretty overwhelming with all these new devices coming in, but yeah, I think that she's pretty happy with things that light up specifically.
And she can probably see that she's manipulating it. It's not just a little movement or something. It's something that you can actually visually see.
Yeah, I always tell her how pretty it looks when she lights up all the lights, and I think she gives her a little bit of encouragement. She likes that. So I hope someone will light up their cat balls today. I just got them yesterday, like I said, so it might be a little bit too soon, but fingers crossed.
And um, just for you, because I know different people have different thoughts or feelings about this, what do you feel like the spirits are in them? Is it the doll itself or something else that attached to the doll?
For what I've noticed in like talking with them, they are human spirits that have attached themselves to the dolls. I know that Alicia right here with the red hair, she had red hair as a kid before she passed away, so she attached herself to the doll because it looks like her and it feels like her. Kirsten feels the same way. So I think that's kind of the theme with a lot of my dolls. I haven't
Mhm.
noticed any entities or anything like not human with them. So
That's good.
yeah,
I feel the same way. So
I think they might need to be rehomed if I discover any entities or anything that's negative. I don't want that here. So
no, no. And you don't want that for the other dolls either.
definitely not. I do ask them like, do you like this other specific doll? Like I try to see if there's any dolls that they don't like in here, just so I can kind of get a feel for everybody. And there are certain dolls that really like each other, so I keep them together, things like that.
I like that. We kind of
Yeah.
test out the friendships.
Yeah, and I know that Kirsten is really excited about the spirit doll that's coming, Nancy. I've been asking her about her a lot, and she says that she's already met her in spirit in some capacity, and she's really excited for her to be here. So
That's
that's good.
exciting. I can't wait to see those videos. When is she coming?
She's coming tomorrow, so I'm sure I'll probably do like an unboxing or something like that if I'm able to.
That's
But
cool. Do you have any dolls that you don't feel like have anything attached to them?
yeah, I do have quite a few that I don't really get that energy from. Um, like there are a couple that are in the back there that I don't really feel much from. Um, and most of the ones that are down here on this shelf, I don't really get that vibe from, except for Becky. Becky does kind of, I'll bring her up, but she does light up the cat ball from time to time. But she doesn't have a face really, just eyes and freckles.
That's
But
cool. I've never seen a doll like I've seen them with no face at all, but not with just minimal face.
yeah, I had never seen anything like that either. My boyfriend got me that for Christmas, and I just thought that was so funny. He said it reminded him of me. So,
Aw,
yeah, but
you
there's
have
definitely some that don't have attachments to them, or at least aren't comfortable showing that to me. But
Mhm.
maybe some will open up. I don't know.
I have some objects that I have that I feel like have energy to them, but it's not a spirit. It's like the things that happened around the object.
Like the residuals.
Yeah, but it's not like an actual person or entity. It's like just energy from being in a location for so long.
Mhm.
Uh, I've been a mortgage loan originator for a long time, and I was a branch manager at a big bank. And in the basement, they still had a bunch of stuff from way back when. This particular branch had been there since I want to say like the 1890s, 1880s.
Oh,
And so they still had stuff from like way back then when it was a different bank technically than this bank bought it. And there was a mortgage rate calculator, and it's huge. It's like this like iron. It's so heavy. And there's glass and there's like a I'll make a video about it. There's
okay.
like a magnifying glass on it so you can like check the rates based on different things, and it's really interesting. And so I was leaving being a branch manager to go be a mortgage loan originator, and I asked them if I could have the mortgage rate calculator that was down there. Like, what? What's down there? And so I went down there like, okay, if you can carry it yourself to the car, you can have it. And I was like, deal. So I carried that thing. It took me about an hour of like taking breaks on each step.
If you want something, you're gonna get it. I feel that way.
But I feel like sometimes when I walk by it, I'll smell like cigar smoke and like different things and like whiskey, like different things that they would have been doing in the branch back then, like when they're signing on their mortgages or
Ooh.
and it's very interesting. I don't feel a specific entity to it, but I feel the energy like from the bank and from like finance and things around it. And it's very interesting.
I like that. That's a really interesting object. That's not something you just see every day. She's flickering it again. Hey.
Have you been in a bank?
Yeah, she's like, I want to go to the bank. That's
I
one thing
miss
I
living in
wonder
there.
if my dolls want to travel. I wonder about that sometimes, like if they'd want to go to the grocery store or something with me. People would probably think I'm crazy, but they deserve to have that experience.
I think so. And what if you had like a backpack or something that just their head or was sticking out so they could see or I
Yeah,
don't
I
feel
think
like
like I'd probably put them in a tote bag or something. Like when I take my orders to the post office, I might put them in there. Maybe they'd like to do something like that. I'll have to ask.
that would be fun. I mean, I wouldn't think it's weird, but
I know a lot of people would. I live in a very conservative kind of area, and I think a lot of people would give me looks. They already do, just based off my appearance, but I'm used to it. So what's the doll gonna do?
yeah. So right now, like I have autism and like my thing is like the oddities and so I've having my podcast, I've been able to explore a lot of it and other people have come to me finding the same things interesting and I feel a sense of community about it. Right now I'm refurbishing a coffin I found on the side of the road into a throne. And I think the coffin was like a wood shop project. I don't think anyone was in it.
Yeah, it's not
Uh,
used.
no, no. And it's very like rudimentary. It's not like a coffin you would find in a store, but it's definitely a coffin and had the lid and everything and it was on the side of the road. And I've stained it. I stained it purple and I'm gonna build a throne in it and it's gonna go I my bedroom's in the attic. It's gonna go over here where my squishmallows are, like in the middle of that doorway.
Oh, that's a cool spot.
And I know I like it. It feels cozy when I'm over there. And that's my like safe space.
That's kind of
And
how it feels over here too. Like I'm hanging out
yeah,
with my friends. my safe spot.
But that'll eventually be my podcasting area over there. And I want it to look very, I don't know, spooky.
That's a cool thing to find on the side of the road too. And that's a cool
Mhm.
DIY.
And when I picked it up, one of my TikTok friends, I made a video right afterwards when it was in the back of my car, like had to get it shoved in there some way, it barely fit. And I'm like, you're gonna kill me, but I just picked up a coffin on the side of the road.
That's how I feel when I get new dolls and my boyfriend comes home. I'm like, you're gonna kill me, but I got new dolls.
Now let me introduce you.
Yeah, I did that yesterday. I brought him in here and I was like, so I got new dolls. Say hi to him.
Does he live there with you?
Yeah, I try to keep the dolls in my own space, so they're in my office and they're away from everything. But I did have a case of them downstairs for a while, and he was like, I just try not to look at it. So
At
he
least,
lets me express myself, but he just doesn't want to see it all the time.
yeah. Yeah, I've had that. My previous partner would get really weirded out by things, but also encouraged me to get them. Like, didn't discourage me, but would just be like another one. Like,
Yeah, that's how my boyfriend is. I'm very thankful because I dated someone that would literally throw my dolls in a closet because they just
oh,
hated them so much, and that broke my heart.
yeah. And it's okay to not be into the same thing.
Yeah, that's what's so interesting about my boyfriend and I is we have very different styles, but it just kind of works and we just accept each other.
Yeah. What is he into?
He's really into video games and stuff like
Okay.
that, the more nerdy aspect of things, and I'm into some of that too, but he definitely is more knowledgeable about that kind of thing. And I'm
Yeah.
I'm
And I'm
about the paranormal.
see that kind of goes into what I was saying about sports. Video games too. It's another thing that is very similar. And if you looked at it a different way, people would think it was weird that you're really into this other life.
Yeah. We both have the special interest kind of
Hmm.
thing going on. But he's
Hmm.
very skeptical of the paranormal, so he's been really liking all these devices because he believes in the science of it. So he's starting to believe about my dolls now because he sees the device with the proof.
And honestly, looking over it scientifically and with like the knowledge and degrees or degree that I have, first I was pre-med and then I switched to business, but then I minored in social work as well. But looking at the energies and things, it has to go somewhere. Like energy doesn't just stop.
Yeah, energy does not die.
No, and with how many people experience the same things or similar things, like something is going on. It
Yeah.
can't be nothing. So,
Yeah, I agree. I definitely feel the same way, and that's kind of what we've talked about before. He's just on the fence, kind of skeptical. He kind of believes, but he kind of doesn't.
like, does he
But
feel silly for believing?
I don't know. I think he just tries to convince himself otherwise. Like sometimes he'll experience something paranormal and he'll believe it for a day, and then the next day he's like, well, actually, I think it was this. I don't think it was paranormal. So I don't know. But with the devices, he definitely believes in that.
Yeah. Do you like to go to different haunted places?
I do, but I haven't in a while because, like I said, I'm very spiritually sensitive, and I
Hmm.
feel like every time I was going to a place, the people I was going to with, they would have really bad experiences. Like my boyfriend almost fainted one
Oh.
time we went to a place, and that happened to one of my friends as well on a different time. So kind of stopped doing that for a little bit because I felt like I was maybe bringing something out, and it was affecting my friends.
Well, if I'm ever in the area, we can definitely go. I've never had a negative experience anywhere. And even in the sad and like more evil places, I feel like I don't know if it's from my grandfather. So my grandfather's Siksika, Native American, um, and he taught me a lot through energy and spirits and different things and how to protect yourself. So I think just from a young age and learning how to protect myself from negative things, maybe I just repel them and only the positive things come.
That's good.
Um,
Yeah, I definitely learned how to keep the bad stuff away, but I'm always still kind of hesitant and skeptical about it. I'm like, what if it finds a way in?
Yeah, or maybe it is finding a way into the other people with you. So,
No,
because
I
I've
think
never
so.
taken anyone.
I put like a protective bubble around one of my friends one time after she had a bad experience, and she said that, and I didn't tell her I was doing this either. I just kind
Mhm.
of did it. And she said that she just immediately felt better out of nowhere and she didn't know why. And that was the exact moment where I put the little bubble around her. So at least I know that I have that. I can put a little protective bubble around people if I need to.
Does your medium friend, because you seem like a medium yourself, does she help with channeling some things? And
She channels a lot of my family members for me on the other side, which is really fun. We've been talking for about 2 or 3 years now. So she knows a whole lot about my life and she's really bonded with my grandpa on the other side, which is really fun.
oh, I love that. That has never been my gift, but I have friends who that is, and I envy them sometimes. I'm like, ah, but they're like, don't envy me. There's a lot that I don't that doesn't feel good that happens.
Yeah,
Or
I'm very in tune with like emotions and stuff, so I kind of take that in, and so I have to find that balance of not keeping it around after it's hit me. So
yeah.
that's one thing I definitely learned with doing tarot readings because if you don't protect yourself and you don't cleanse yourself, that stuff sticks around and it can make you physically sick. And that happened to me. So definitely.
I done tarot readings for years too, and I personally didn't want to get paid for them. Like I would only accept tips like afterwards. I didn't want to charge because I didn't want it to influence my readings.
Mhm.
Like getting paid, oh, this person's paying me, I have to tell them something they want to hear, like kind of thing.
I've had
And
people get mad at me because I don't do that. Like if
yeah,
there's something bad, I will tell them what's up. And I've had people get mad at me for that. I'm like, why are you paying me? Don't you want to know the truth?
I feel like they want to pay you to feel better about themselves. And it's like, okay, well, go to a therapist. Like,
Yeah, I did have to cut off some people because they were relying on me too heavily and they
Mhm.
were wanting to give me all of their money like every week to ask me the same questions. And I was like, I'm not gonna take advantage of you like that.
No. And there are a lot of people who will. Um, and I feel like like some people after someone passes or something, there's a lot of the people that come out of the woodwork that see dollar signs in that. And it's sad, but some of them, that's what they want. Like they want to be told what they want to hear, and it doesn't matter if it's real or not. It's some sort of closure for them. But that's not, it's really hard for me to lie.
Mhm.
And unless, so it's funny because my co-host and I for the Wednesday segment we're talking about because she has autism as well, and that it's really hard to lie unless it's somebody, I forget what it was, somebody who wants to be lied to, basically. But at the same time, like I still have a problem with it. I still have trouble lying because it just seems so wrong, and I hate when people lie to me.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I just spent so long as a child not knowing I had autism and lying to myself and trying to figure out like how to fit in the world and not feel like an alien that I would rather not have that energy around me of
Mhm.
not the truth. And so, yeah, I've had my readings done a few times and I can tell when they're just trying to tell me what I want to hear and I hate it so much.
I stopped going to anybody for readings besides my friend because we've known
Hmm.
each other for so long. But I won't go to anybody else because I trust myself the most. So like I know that I'm not gonna lie to myself and tell myself what I want to hear. So I just do my readings myself and I'm content with that. But I know what
Yeah.
you mean about feeling like an alien growing up and trying to figure out why you don't fit in and stuff. I definitely relate to that.
Ugh, it was just so weird because like I had the same desires, the same things that I liked, the same like that I like now, and it never really changed. It just kind of morphed. But I had to hide that because everyone thought I was either a serial killer or like they would talk about people like because I would find roadkill and then bury it and then get the bones later. It was already dead. Like I've never killed anything. But I had this fascination and connection with death as if it wasn't the end, like trying to figure out what was after that and what happens to everything after. And people would talk about people who had dead animals or played with like bones and things like that. And And I would listen to them and I'm like, oh yeah, those people are weird, aren't they? Like,
I don't do that. I don't do anything like
oh,
that.
I would never bring roadkill home and think that it deserved more respect than staying in the road.
Mm. Yeah, I was always obsessed with witches and ghosts growing up, and that's kind of where a lot of this started for me. It was just the fascination of what goes on after we die.
hmm
And
Oh,
like
definitely.
before I even really understood the concept of death, I hadn't experienced that firsthand. Um, I was always very skeptical about my dolls. Like I didn't like them, and I always thought that they were haunted for some reason. I was just like, I don't want to look at it. It's gonna start moving. And look at what I do now. I like wait for them to move. I'm like, I know you can do it.
Do it. That is
Like I'll sit
awesome.
here for hours. I'm like, you can light up those lights if you want.
I love it. And I love that you can be yourself and that even like on TikTok you're being yourself and I was so drawn to that. I'm like she's excited about it and I love it and
Yeah, it's kind of like what you were saying is there's a community of people out there and the internet really brings people together. I don't
Mhm.
have anyone in my personal life that cares about this stuff, but people on TikTok care about it for some reason, so I'm gonna keep sharing it.
Yeah, it's bringing the right people to you and I like that. And I shared it with some people too. So
Oh, thank you. I
I was like,
appreciate
you'll
that.
love it. And I
Oh,
know Lee's gonna be jealous that we did this on just mine and not both of ours, but maybe we'll
well,
bring you back on.
yeah, if they ever want to talk to me, I'm very open to that. And I try to get back to everyone who comments, but for some reason TikTok hides my comments and I'm not.
I don't get notifications for all my comments and I feel bad. And TikTok's been unfollowing me from people sometimes. And I'm like, wait, I was following this. I've never unfollowed someone unless something like really bad happened and I really didn't vibe with that person. Um but yeah, it's been unfollowing me from people. And I'm like, I swear I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
So weird. I can't figure it out because it's telling me that my settings are wrong and I'm like, no, they're not. I'm literally looking at them and it's fine. I should be getting my comments. So yeah, Kirsten's like, I want to see those comments about me.
And
She's
you need
very,
1,000 so you can go live too.
I know, I'm like 400 away or a little bit less than that. So
Yeah, and
hopefully,
I'll you guys follow her. I'm posting her TikTok in the description. So go
yeah,
follow.
have you on this. Kirsten is very much the star of the show. That's the way
Mhm.
she likes it, from what she's told me. She's excited about my new doll, Nancy, but the $4 that I got yesterday, she told me that she was a little bit jealous of them because she doesn't want them to take her spotlight away.
Aw.
So that's why she has the EMF. She's like, I want to light that up today.
We won't let that happen.
Yeah, you're always going to be the star, girl. Who knows?
That's
Nancy might
awesome.
take it down.
And then you also, I wanted to mention before I forget that you also make jewelry and you have an Etsy shop.
Yeah, so it's Spooky Muse on Etsy. I make a lot of handmade earrings and home decor, all kinds of accessories, really. We've got mystery boxes, and yeah, we're shipping everywhere in the United States, 1 to 3 days after checkout. So if you want to,
Awesome. You're faster
that would
than me.
be very appreciated. And we can get one of the girls to model the jewelry if you want.
Yes.
I've been thinking about that. I'm like, somebody might like some earrings or something. I'll have to ask them if they want like an offering of earrings or they can bless.
Definitely. I like your eyeball jewelry.
Thank you. I need to figure out a way to get more of that because I have a doll eye necklace that blinks and stuff, and I want to try to figure out if I can do that.
I think you can.
I think I can too. I just need to find somewhere that's selling just doll eyes so I
Yeah.
can sort of wire wrap it or something.
Yeah, that is awesome. I would totally buy that.
Okay, well, now that I know there's a market for it, maybe I can find a way to make that happen.
It's just me. I'm the market.
Hey,
I'm just kidding.
the thing about my Etsy is I try to make something for everyone, so there's just a
Mhm.
little bit of everything for every kind of aesthetic or whatever. And I'm always surprised about what sells and what doesn't. People really love food earrings right now, so a lot of those have been selling, and I didn't think they would. So yeah, it's kind of like what we are talking about with the internet. There's always a space for everybody. There's always a community for everybody.
Yes, Lee said the same thing though. A lot of her favorite jewelry that she's made, because she sells jewelry on Etsy as well, is what doesn't sell. And then things that she was like, oh, this isn't going to sell, but I'll post it anyway, is what sells. She's like, what is
Yeah,
going on?
it's so interesting. I'm really trying to figure out what my most selling pieces are, but I think because I make everything for every kind of person, I'm not gonna get that information.
Yeah, yeah. I make hats and I only do them for a couple months a year because they're for Christmas time, but they're yarmulke Santa Claus hats
That's
and they are cute. And I have two that I need to ship out right now. That I was waiting for some goodies to come in that I was going to put in the packages, and I knew the people who ordered them, so I was like, "You can wait just an extra week because I have stuff. I have extra stuff to send you."
Oh, that's sweet. I love when people put a lot of effort into their small business. I try to do that too. And the person I bought my new doll Nancy from, Nancy has picked out goodies for me to come with
Oh,
her. So I'm really excited to see what that is.
I love that.
Me too.
Oh,
I know she's coming with a teddy bear because she loves stuffed animals, and I'm a stuffed animal collector. So I think we're a good fit.
that is a good fit. I'm a stuffed animal collector too.
I can't stop. I've been this way since I was a kid. I can't stop.
I just moved everything because I was cleaning, but I have my oldest stuffed animal is an Elmo
Oh,
that my cousin got me for my, gosh, where is it? I thought it would be over here. She got it for me when my little brother was born because she was worried that I wouldn't like that I wasn't the only child anymore. I loved my little brother though, so joke's on her. I got a stuffed animal and a doll and a brother. But I still have it, but I was a little under 2 when he was born, and I would suck on its eyeballs, and so its eyes are just white.
oh my gosh.
It's the creepiest looking doll, and I send her pictures all the time. Like I'll take really creepy angle pictures for her. She's like, "That is the thing of nightmares. Like, please stop."
Oh, he's just really loved. It's not
I
creepy,
just,
he's just loved.
I just want you to know I still have him.
Yeah. Yeah, try to play it off like it's just a sentimental thing.
Not trying to creep you out at all. But yeah, and right now I cannot stop getting squishmallows, and I have so many, and I need to stop, but I can't.
No, I understand once you start going, it's hard to stop. My boyfriend always tells me, like, you have enough stuffed animals. I'm like, no, there can never be enough. Like, they
Mm-mm.
all deserve love. I can't go to a store and see one and just leave it there.
No, you just need a bigger house. So
Exactly.
yeah.
I've been telling him, no, we don't need to keep all my things in storage. We can just keep elevating our space and I can just
Mhm.
get rooms and rooms and rooms for all my antiques.
You can be like the Winchester Mansion and just keep building on.
I was thinking about that earlier when we were talking about the historical homes and the guy who built your house. It
Yep.
reminded me of Crystal Mansion.
I want to go there so bad. They do after hours tours for podcasters and people with shows, and then you can record in there while you're inside. And I want to do that.
Take
The
me.
other one, I want to go to Shawnee. So there was a like a park, like a theme park in Shawnee that's closed down now because things kept happening and people kept dying. And they just kind of let nature overtake it, but they do tours there. You can still walk around, and I want to go there too. But there's a lot of negative energy there that I'm a little scared to go.
Um,
Um, because it was originally a sacred graveyard for the Shawnee people, and they didn't realize that is because they didn't live there. That's just where they would bring their dead and bury them. And so when a family took the land and started living there, the people kept coming and um, they eventually killed some of their kids and stuff. It was like a whole story, but they didn't realize that the land was sacred to them, not because they lived there, but because their dead was there. And um, then they built a amusement park on it, like all this stuff. And
but
now
that's
the
so much energy.
And now the family that owns it um, wants to preserve it and tell the real story of what happened on it. And that's the family that closed down the amusement park and said, no, we're going to let the land have it. And people can come and see the land, but we're going to tell them the real story of what happened and what this place was and everything, the good and the bad that happened here. And so the wife still lives there. The husband died of a heart attack on the property,
Um,
and yeah, so she still lives there and lets them do tours and stuff. But
cool.
uh, it seems like I'm so drawn to that place, and I don't know why. But
Oh, I feel that way. I don't know if you've heard of the Sally House, but I have like a weird obsession with that place, and it's a demonic house. And there's been like sacrifices and stuff in the basement, and I've been obsessed with it since I was a kid, and I just feel like I should never go there because I think about it way too often, and I just feel like I need to, so that tells me I shouldn't.
yeah, I that's kind of how I feel. Like, is it something negative drawing me there to,
Yeah.
or am I just drawn there because I want to feel what's going on? Like, I'm very torn on whether or not I should go there.
Yeah, I definitely believe it's a thing though that like negative entities will call out to people that they could take advantage of or something of that sort. So I will not be going to the Sally House as much as I would like to.
Maybe when you're like 97.
Maybe when I'm like on my deathbed, someone can like wheel me in there and I can just experience it for a little bit.
That's kind of how I feel. There's a lot of places that I want to go to that I don't feel that same. Like, I have a desire to go there, but at this specific place, it's like I'm drawn to it. I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's very different from like the Winchester Mansion or what are the other ones I really want to go to? There's some graveyards that I really want to go to just because the history of the people that are there, and just seeing where they're buried. But yeah, I don't know.
I know what you mean though. Like I have locations where I'm like, "Oh yeah, that would be so fun to go there. I'd really want to check that out." But there's something about the Sally House where I'm like, "I have to." And I feel
Yeah.
that way about some of my dolls too, where I'd see them online and I'm like, I can't stop thinking about it. I want to look at pictures of it every day. I have to buy it.
Yeah.
So,
Are there any dolls you've missed out on getting that you wish
oh
you
yeah. Yeah, too many. There'll be ones I see online that are in a bunch of people's carts, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna save it for later, and maybe I'll come back to it, and then it gets sold, and so I always feel sad when that happens.
Has one ever come back up that you missed before?
No, I wish. The only thing I can think of that's kind of similar is there's an antique mall a few towns over from me where it seems like a lot of their stuff just sits and doesn't really get sold because it's so big. And so I'll see the same doll over and over again over a span of like 5 years, and I'm like, maybe I should get it this time, and I don't. But that's the only thing
Yeah.
similar.
I have a couple objects like that that sat at an antique mall for a really long time. I have Masonic pillars that I got that I was just like, they wanted a lot of money for them. And I'm like, I'm not spending that. But I like to try to haggle and see what people will do. And I offered them a ridiculously low amount of money for them, and they accepted it. So then I had to take them.
Oh my gosh. I need to get better about haggling. That's something that I need to start doing, but I'm just so anxious and nervous when I'm in public. I'm like, I don't want to offend anybody and I don't want them to be like she's annoying.
Yeah, this place, but I knew that they had sat there for so long. But I was able to do that with several objects that I got. So my dining room table, no, sorry. My dining room table I paid full price for. The rug under my dining room table, they originally wanted $10,000 for it.
Whoa.
And it's a Persian rug, like it's really nice, and it had obviously just sat in a room that no one ever went in.
Hmm.
But and it still had like the original receipt when they bought it. It was like $25,000. And I'm like, who spends that on a rug?
Rugs are crazy expensive for no reason. They don't need to be
So
that expensive.
no. So I kept going and I'm like, talking to them about it. It was part of an estate that people had it on consignment there. And I'm like, no one's gonna pay that for this rug. And it was about 4 years of me going there, maybe 3 years of me going there, and it's still being there, just in the corner of the room, rolled up. And finally, I'm like, okay, you guys, this is taking up space. Like, can you talk to them? Like, it's always been sitting here for years. Been coming here for years. And like, will they take $600 for it? And they did.
Wow. Oh my gosh, from 10,000 to 600, that's great. That's a good deal.
Yeah, it cost that much to clean it, I found out too.
Oh.
So I have not had it cleaned since I got it because
But like maybe you could do that yourself. Maybe you could like DIY clean it somehow.
I'm thinking so I was renting a room to someone here and their dogs peed on it before she left. And this was like she left about a month ago. And I'm like, I need to get it cleaned. Like I've tried like with water and just like the things I see online that aren't gonna hurt the rug. But I think I could clean it. I just now I'm gonna have to wait until next summer because it's about to be winter here and just stick it out in my garage till summer.
But it's gonna be worth it when you finally do get it. You know, it's gonna be even better than you imagine.
It's gonna be purple again. It's such a dingy color, and I was looking at pictures of when I first got it. I'm like, oh, it was so purple. Now it's like dark purple.
Yeah, that tends to happen with a lot of my antiques is that they just get discolored and I'm like, what did this used to look like? What did this
I
look
wish
like before I got it?
I wish I trusted myself to restore things.
That's how I feel about my dolls, is so many of them have matted hair just from being thrifted and stuff, and I don't want to hurt the doll in any way by trying to fix it. So I wish I knew somebody that was trained in that. So
Yeah,
hopefully they can do their best.
I'm such a YouTube DIYer and but I don't trust myself still with some things that I've
I
but
understand
yeah,
that.
yeah. I have quite a few objects that I would restore. Like there's a table. Uh, she likes that.
It's just looking at it like crazy. She likes your stories.
You should come to my house.
Maybe she'll be the first traveling doll. Maybe she'll make it out of here.
Yeah, you guys need to go on a road trip.
I need to figure out who's down for that because Kirsten, she gets angry sometimes. So I don't know if she'd be one for a long ride.
Maybe if she knew where she was going, like something that's exciting to her.
Yeah, maybe she can tell me where she'd want to go and we can make that happen.
Mhm. I travel, so I converted a school bus into an RV,
Oh, that's cool.
and yeah, it is cool. I just took the walls out of it though to redo some things because we lived in it for 10 months, and I realized what I wanted to change. So when I got back home, 'cause I was having a lot of medical issues, so I came back home to be able to go to the Mayo Clinic and tore some of the walls out so I could redo things so it's more functional. And now I'm like, I want to travel again. Now it's all torn apart.
Oh no.
But as solar, water, but yeah, we had to figure out how to do solar from YouTube and did it all ourselves.
That's one thing I'm very grateful for is that we have YouTube to just teach us all these things that people don't tell you about.
Like changing a tire. That's how I learned how to change a tire.
Yeah, there's that guy on YouTube that does the dad videos that shows you how to fix everything that no one tells you about.
Yes, I love it. I think I know exactly who you're talking about. Because my stepdad didn't teach me anything. And I was mainly with my mom and stepdad. And because I wasn't a brother, one of my brothers, I didn't get to learn how to like take the dirt bikes apart, put them back together, work on the cars. And even though I was the one who went with him everywhere. So when he would go to the desert, I always went. When he would go fishing every Friday, I would go with him. And my brothers had like they would like to go to the desert, but they didn't really like working on things. They would just stand there and watch him. I wanted to get my hands dirty.
Oh. And now you got the YouTube videos, so now you can learn.
I have a YouTube dad now.
We all have a YouTube dad.
I love it. My dad would have taught me, but I wasn't at his house very much. So it was because it was like every other weekend, and then we were just doing fun things, and he wasn't really working on things.
Mm.
And he would have taught me, but yeah, it just never came up when I was there. He taught me how to change my oil in my car.
That's
So
good. That's something that I wasn't taught. I was taught literally nothing about my car other than how to drive it. So I've had to learn a lot of things through trial and error by myself, pretty much.
yeah. And I'm about to, so my next car I'm getting that I've been researching which one I want to get is a hearse. And I really want to get a hearse because it'll tow my boat. They're actually like hardcore, like they'll tow things.
Okay.
And so I want to, so I want to paint my boat like a Barbie boat and have it be all bright and colorful and then tow it with my like black hearse.
That's very me. I have two different conflicting aesthetics. So I've got like the frilly dolls and everything, but then I also love the dark, spooky stuff.
Mhm. I love it. I love it. I think that's why I was drawn to you.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. That means a lot to me that people are resonating with my content and I guess with me as a person. That means a lot.
Yeah. Well, awesome. So we've been on for about an hour, so we'll wrap up this episode. And I'm always awkward about ending things. So
It's hard to find a stopping point once you just get talking, you know?
I know it is. And my guest episodes are always way longer than my just me because I can make myself shut up when it's just me. But yes, you are always welcome back on the show. And if you want to come on to the episode with Lee and I and talk about anything, we are definitely open to having you back on. And I know she's going to be jealous she wasn't here. So
Well, well, maybe when Nancy comes, she'll be all about it and we can talk with Nancy. I definitely
definitely.
do another episode.
Yeah, for sure. And I really appreciate you. I look forward to connecting with you more. And oh, here's my question though that I knew that I need to remember to ask all of my guests on my individual one. What's your favorite dinosaur?
I'm a Triceratops girl. I'm kind of basic. I'm here for it.
Nice. There's no wrong answer to that as long as it's a dinosaur.
Yeah. I do also like a pterodactyl, but I'm
Yes,
thinking Triceratops girl.
both great answers. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on, and I will post all of your links in the description when this comes out. And this episode's actually going to come out on Monday, so it's going to be fast because I'm behind on recording. So
Well, thank you so much for having me. It really means a lot. This is my first podcast, so thank you for having me,
awesome.
giving us the time of day.
Of course, anytime. And I hope that you have a wonderful Friday the 13th
Thank you.
and go do some spooky stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I hope we have some sort of spooky occurrence, both of us.
I hope so. We'll reconnect and see what happens.
Okay.
Well, wonderful. Well, you have a great day. And um, thank you, everyone, for listening. And definitely go over to YouTube if you listen to this on audio, because there was definite visual things that happened that you would love to see. The dolls
Hopefully,
were communicating.
yep. The girl with the EMF over there, she was lighting up quite a bit.
Yeah, she was. Does she want to say anything else before we go?
I don't know. We can bring her up and see if she will do anything for us. Trying not to light up her cat ball myself. I'll let her do that if she feels like doing that. I don't know if she will say
It's okay.
anything.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
You want to say anything to the viewers?
She's like, follow my mom and buy things from her Etsy.
Yeah, that is what she's saying. Support small businesses.
Support small business. It goes directly back into our economy.
And for more dolls.
And more dolls.
Well, thank you very much
Yeah.
for having us.
All right. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you, you too.
Bye.